Hey paisanos, it's Josh Thomas from TheBitBlock here to bring you through the site's video review for Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. Now this title marks the very first time that Mario and friends are featured in a 3D multiplayer title, and I think that's pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and see what it's all about. So the design here, I think, plays out a lot more like a 2D Mario title, but in a 3D landscape. You see, the typical 3D Mario game has players exploring large, expansive worlds in order to complete a specified task to then collect a final star. But here in 3D World, things are definitely structured more like a 2D Mario title. So you'll make your way through more dense, obstacle course-like stages, and then at the end, you'll hop on a flagpole to complete the level. It's kind of strange because I almost feel like 3D World is a very good 2D Mario game, which might sound kind of stupid, but eh. I do sort of like the more linear, straightforward gameplay, but I also definitely miss the big open worlds of Mario 64 and Sunshine. Exploration seems to be toned down a bit here. 3D World's design is based on Super Mario 3D Land on the Nintendo 3DS. The problem here is a lot of the DNA from 3D Land doesn't work quite as well on a home console. Many of these levels are still designed as if you're viewing them in 3D, but, you know, we're obviously not. There were several times where I would misjudge jumps and have a bit of trouble hopping on an enemy. It's not a huge problem, but it's something I definitely noticed. Now, one of the really great aspects to the gameplay is the ability to play as different characters, who all have their own unique abilities. So Mario is an all-around player, Luigi can jump really high, Princess Peach can hover in the air momentarily, and Toad is able to run really fast. Switching around who you play as based on the different levels can actually be quite beneficial, and there's some very interesting strategy there. The complete overload of great power-ups and items, I think, is something that really stands out here. The cat suit allows you to climb up walls and claw away enemies. It's seriously one of the all-time best Mario power-ups, in my opinion. There's also a double cherry that multiplies your character and has you controlling up to 5 of them. It's absolute insanity, and it even results in some pretty fun puzzles and tricky platforming. There's also lots of mushrooms, flowers, leaves, and more. The game even has additional items like cannon boxes, there are baseballs that you can find and throw at enemies, there's even Goomba skates that you can skate around in. There's just so many items and power-ups, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's so much to play with here. Super Mario 3D World is a pretty spiffy looking game. It's certainly very clean and colorful, just as you would expect from Mario. There's a ton of variety in level themes. You know, you have the typical grassy plains, there are dry deserts, molten lava castles, there's the circus, a pretty crazy anthill, the majestic outer space levels, haunted mansions, a Japanese dojo, and lots more. So loads of variety as far as what you're looking at. And because it's on Wii U, you'll see quite a few fancy lighting effects. I also really love how gorgeous the rainy levels look. I mean, look at this! There's rain dripping down the screen and everything. But having said that, I think there's plenty of room for improvement here. The game's worlds are usually designed by using simplistic geometry, which gives everything a somewhat unnatural, kind of generated feel at times. It's 2013. I also kind of feel like grass should not be a flat texture anymore. Mario and friends have a kind of unappealing plasticky look to them as well. Some better material shaders would have gone a long way on character models. Overall, it's a nice clean looking game, but it could still look better with a bit more attention to detail. This game has a very nice soundtrack, and lots of the tunes have a big band, jazzy vibe to them. There are also some tracks that have great, soothing, mysterious, almost mystical vibes to them. It may not live up to what we heard in the Super Mario Galaxy titles, but it definitely comes close. There's a lot of great music in 3D World, and I mean, I feel like I would be foolish to not point out how silly and amazing it is to hear all these characters making cat noises. Honestly, hearing Toad impersonate a kitten is heart-meltingly fantastic. So after you've completed the main 8 worlds in the game, some additional bonus worlds will open up. Approximately 10 levels are featured in every world. There's no shortage of content to check out here. It is a bit disappointing how short the levels can be though. I mean, on average, you can fully complete a stage in like under 3 minutes. That's typical for a 2D Mario game, but it's certainly not for a 3D Mario game. Every level contains 3 green stars, which are kind of like star coins basically, and also a Miiverse stamp hidden away somewhere in the level, just waiting for you to find them. Collecting everything and 100% completing 3D World should take around, 12 to 15 hours or so. Of course, the game is also playable with up to 4 people at once in multiplayer mode, so competing with each other can definitely add some replay value as well. The problem here is that once you've collected everything in a level, there's really no incentive to revisit it with other players. A coin rush mode or some kind of battle mode for these levels would have definitely gone a long way and been a nice addition. Alright, so I really like Super Mario 3D World, but there are some shortcomings that I just really can't ignore. For example, there's no dynamic camera that pans in and out in multiplayer, and this means that someone is often going to be left behind to lose a life. There's also this super unneeded and totally annoying blue border that keeps popping up non-stop. It's supposed to tell you that the players are getting too far apart, but usually it doesn't even seem like it's telling you that. Thankfully though, unlike in 2D games, here you really don't get in each other's way in multiplayer while playing. And as a quick side note, I'm also kind of disappointed with a lot of the boss battles. They're not bad, but they're not really anything too special. They're kind of empty and basic. But in the end, you know what? Like I said, I really do like Super Mario 3D World. The title has a lot going for it. The substantial amount of power-ups and items constantly keep you on your toes. There's a great variety to level design, and the 4-player support with unique characters, even though it's slightly flawed, is all really great. TheBitBlock is rewarding Super Mario 3D World with 8 yarn balls out of 10. Hey, thanks for watching this video from TheBitBlock. If you want to stay up to date on tons of exclusive Nintendo content, be sure to subscribe by clicking here. And if you don't want the fun to end, you can check out more Nintendo coverage by clicking over here.